everybody, and welcome back to Audiotree Live. My name is Rita Lukea. Today's date is Wednesday, July 26th, 2023. We have an amazing show for you today in the studio. We have Sculpture Club, all the way from Salt Lake City, Utah. The session you're about to hear is available right now through your favorite streaming platform through the Audiotree artist profile. So please follow us over there, and please subscribe to us here on YouTube as well. We really want you to be able to keep up with all of the new and exciting talent we discover just for you, just like this amazing band, Sculpture Club, who might tug at your heartstrings a little bit. Whenever you're ready, guys, take it away. Sounded great.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in.
Absolutely. Thanks for asking us.
Of course. How's everybody doing? We doing good?
Doing so good. Oh my God.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I'm actually so tired and exhausted,
Really?
and this whole thing feels surreal and beautiful. So I feel great.
It doesn't seem that way though. You guys are like absolutely killing it.
Thank you.
Chaz.
Yes.
You're in a couple, 2, 3, 4
Too many
bands. It's a lot. It's a lot of projects and shows and music. Yeah, everyone else is in a couple of other projects too, right? Like,
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I mean, you guys are freaking beasts.
Yeah.
I don't know how you handle it all.
I mean, Brett and I have a different band together. Brett and Hallie have a different band together.
Hello?
And then Diana plays in this band. And then I play in a lot of other bands as well. So.
Yeah.
But what are you gonna do? That's how it works.
So I want to ask, because I feel like different projects serve a different function. Like this project for you, like what function does it serve? Is this band your main creative outlet?
Yeah, in a way. I mean, I think that this thing was like one of the first ones that I started before I mean, I was always in a bunch of bands, but this was the first one that like settled with me, where I was like, oh, I can do everything exactly how I like and yell about whatever feeling I'm having right now.
Yeah.
And that was like, it was also like a cool way to like try to get better at writing songs for me, like coming from like punk bands and this and that, but also loving like new wave and guitar pop and like trying to meld those two things together. I feel like, I don't know, trying to like match that romanticism with like just being angry and sad.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't like to think of any of my bands as a main band. Do you know what I mean?
Totally.
And I mean, I think that's like also a very cliche thing to say. But I think they all serve like a very specific purpose in my life, and they all like live at the same place. Okay. For me, in my heart.
Yeah. So, but you have, like, this band isn't when you started songwriting. Like, you've been songwriting for a while, or like,
for a long time. But this was the first one that like felt like it clicked. Yeah. And I started writing songs that I liked, that I didn't like a couple months later be like, no more, can't play that one anymore. But this is the one that like I felt like I found a groove of like the sound I wanted, the songs, how I wanted the songwriting to be, and like the vibe and imagery and everything. It kind of like all fell together in this band. So it's like very much just a representation of my brain. It's just
it's an extraction.
Yeah, totally. Which I mean, that's like what music is, you know?
Yeah. Well, I felt like when I saw the music video for the new song, Cursed Are Hacks, it was like, it just felt like a pure like extraction and actualization of, it had so much personality in it.
Thank you.
Did you?
Yeah, so I made that. Diana helped me make a couple of those little papers.
Cool.
But the idea was like, I was watching Napoleon Dynamite, and then there's that the most beautiful intro of all time.
It's really iconic.
And so I was like, I want to do something like that. That's like, because since we do everything, like we try to do as much as we can just by ourselves, and that kind of limits, production of what we can pull off.
A constraint.
Totally.
Yeah.
And so with that, I was like, it'd be cool to just do one shot, and then I can do all the work can go into prep work. But what is like a cheap and interesting way to do that? And it's like, I'll just use all the crafts I have at my house and do this silly thing. But
I don't know why, but it kind of like made me emotional. And it's like, I was like,
gotcha.
I was like, why am I crying right now? I don't know if I'm like just like a sensitive Cancer or anything, but it's like just the fact that everything was like hand illustrated and lyrics just like so direct and accessible and like just such a like, like straight to the core. I was like, it's beautiful.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, dude. I feel like, you're obviously like some of your other things that you're in are like super massive. And so like, I want to ask everybody in the band, because like this band has the opportunity to open for people, and like kind of like do the fun, like ragtag things, like you're playing super cool DIY spots, you're doing secret shows. Like, I feel like you're just doing like cooler boutique stuff with this project. But so beside all that, I want to ask the band and get y'all in here. Who's your dream band to open for?
Who wants to go first? Should I go first?
Yeah.
Brett, you got it?
ABBA.
Oh my God.
It would be a dream for a lot of people to get it going again.
Yeah,
Oof.
absolutely.
And I want to be a part of it.
If you're going to pick one, pick the one.
The one.
That's a really good answer. Okay.
Oh, absolutely. All right, we're going to keep the pop. Carly Rae Jepsen, like, for sure. For sure.
I think she might like it, too.
She might like it.
I think
She
she'd
seems
be
like-
into it.
She might like it.
ABBA might like this, too.
Let's call her up.
Yeah. What a lineup.
Audiotree has our number. I know.
We do actually.
Don't tempt me.
Don't do it.
I'd make a clone of myself so I can start a band to open for a sculpture club.
Yeah.
Very kind.
Insane answer, but appreciate it a lot. Yeah, major respect. Okay.
I don't know. I feel like there's always like the dream bands you want to open. Like, I'd love to open for like Echo and the Bunnymen or like Tears for Fears or like any of my idols, New Order or anything like that. But it's also like, we're doing like a run of shows with Softkill, and those are our friends, and I love playing shows with them. And I think that we love playing with our friends. And so we'll just open for anybody who wants us to open. But, there's...
Okay,
I
diplomatic
second everybody's
response.
opinion.
The question is, what band do you want to be friends with?
Yeah, that's...
ABBA?
Yeah.
ABBA
Just
still?
say ABBA and move on.
Yeah, ABBA. Next question.
Okay, I'm sorry for giving you a hard time. Okay, whenever you guys are ready, I can't wait to hear the next couple of songs. It's their new singles. I can't wait to hear it. Rip into it whenever you're ready.
Everybody ready?
Cursed or hexed?
Sweet. I feel punk, I feel like dancing. I feel tired, I feel seen, I feel hurt, I feel like hiding. Am I cursed or am I hexed? 1 minute to the next. Am I cursed or am I hexed? 1 minute to the next. Am I cursed or am I hexed? 1 minute to the next. Am I cursed or am I hexed? 1 minute to the next. Am I cursed or am I hexed?
Capture Club on Audiotree Live. That one was amazing. I feel privileged that I get to listen to that before anyone else.
Yeah.
So let's get into it. You guys just released a single, Cursed or Hexed, a couple days ago.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
And by the time this session is out, you'll be able to hear that song used too.
I think that's actually the first time that we've played that live, because we didn't.
Whew.
So there you go.
Congrats, guys. Nailed it. Okay, so I have to ask, which one's your favorite between the two? Or like, which one's your favorite at the moment?
I really love Used To right now. I feel like it's a kind of a weird song for this band because we're more of like a just kind of punky driving band.
Totally.
And so to like mix in like a new time signature and like a cool build up and like
the
all this stuff,
the build up was cool. I was gonna say the build up to the outro was like
yeah. Just that's our love of Weezer. I just had Weezer to the list. Why not? I'll talk to Rivers. Somebody needs to talk to him.
Well, you can use the phone. We'll call him up.
Yeah,
and Carly.
We'll get a 3-way call going.
Okay, so I have to ask. I think, you know, with the pop mentality, I feel like Curse or Hex is like the poppier one too. Like, I mean, there's clearly like a pop presence in this project.
Totally.
But I have to ask in relation to Cursed or Hexed, like lyrically, I always have to lyrically interrogate people. I feel like that's my thing. What in life is making you feel cursed?
I mean, we're all kind of cursed, right? A little bit. It feels that way a lot of times.
Not me.
Well.
Not me.
Freaking.
No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I'm totally cursed.
You're hexed.
Totally cursed.
You're hexed.
Oh,
that's
okay,
why I put the other one in there.
That's
there you go. No, I mean, like when I wrote that, it was, I was like poking fun. It was like a way for me to describe the way my anxiety was making me feel at that like exact moment. Because I didn't like, it was like height of COVID or height of lockdown, you know, and I was like really just couldn't find my footing with like what I wanted to do musically, and I was just like overthinking everything, and I was making this joke about like to my partner Melody about how, like all the different lives that we've lived as people. Me specifically, I was talking about like, you know, I grew up in Southern California and I was like on the surf team in high school, and then I even played football for one season, and then I thought I was going to be a pro like skateboarder, and I even did like MMA. I've had like all these weird lives that like led me to this place, and I started hardcore bands and punk bands and new wave bands and all these things, and I was like starting to panic about like all of that coming into the different parts, because a lot of times people want to compartmentalize like your scene or whatever.
Yeah, they want you to be one person,
and
like
when
an archetype.
Yeah, and then when you're locked down with just yourself, you start overanalyzing everything that you've ever done or said or thought about or anything. And then so I was making jokes about how I like, you know, I love twee music, but I also love like, you know, Iron Maiden's another like one of my favorite bands, and like all these things. And then I was like, started panicking because I was like, who am I? What is happening? And then at that moment was when I was writing, and I was like, oh, this just feels like a curse to me. And, you know, and in the sense of like, we're all big D&D heads here. So in the sense of like something had cast a curse on me to like overthink everything that I was, everything that I was. And so, I mean, in my life, I feel very lucky to be able to do stuff like this and tour and play music and have the beautiful friends I have. And so, yeah, at that moment, it was just...
But you were expressing like how you felt in that moment.
In that moment, and I think that it just like resonated as like a good... That's how my anxiety feels sometimes, you know. I know it like affects everybody, how it affects everybody, but
it feels like a disease. Like it feels like a plague. It feels like someone hexed you. It feels like something's wrong in life.
Yeah, and then so I was like, you know, I was just playing music, and that came out, and I was like, oh wow, there it is. So that's.
I have to say I am surprised, and I'm glad I asked that question, because I feel like, you know, these songs, and you sound so sad when you sing, and just like I'm like, oh, this is gonna be a heartbreak song, or like, you know, like I felt cursed because you know I felt heartbroken. And then just to hear that it's about anxiety just resonates with me because I feel like that's just it's a very succinct way of describing that feeling of anxiety and panic and just not knowing what your identity is or who you are or why you're doing it.
Or why you're even thinking that.
Yeah.
It's like you can spiral so bad.
Totally.
But maybe I do sound sad. But this is where I go to get out all the sad stuff that I have, and I'm lucky to have that. So
let it all out, girl. So I'm wondering, so not to get like nerdy, but like when you're writing lyrics, is it something that you're writing before when you're composing the song, during, after? Like, are you improvising during it happening? Are you writing it to the music?
It differs. Like sometimes, I think a majority of the time I'll be like, playing whatever chords I can think of, and I'll kind of like hum a vocal melody or something I like. And then usually if I play it long enough, like some ideas will start popping in and that'll give me like a bass grounding. Mm-hmm. But then there's other times where I'll just like write a whole song and then be like, I don't know what to do. And then in those cases, what I have been doing is like, I try to journal as much as I can, like free associate journaling. And then when I'm feeling stumped, I'll go back and I'll find like little lines from that and be like, oh, and then I'll just like, I'll take that one thing and try to like elaborate on it. Yeah. And so I have like a back catalog of journals. Like just like prose. Journal things. Yeah, totally. And so it happens kind of both those. Those are the two main ways it happens. Mm-hmm. Or in Cursor Hexed, I was literally, I think, saying to Melody that I was like, oh, I feel metal, I feel twee, I feel this, and I was just like literally saying it out loud without, I don't know. And then when I was coming up with the Cursor Hexed part, I was like, oh, it's all one thing. So sometimes I just hear something funny and try to write about it. Sometimes I think something sad and write about it. Yeah. And sometimes I have the guitar, and sometimes I just have my journal.
It's a combination.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say, because some of the way that you wrap the words around the melody and the songs, like I was gonna guess that you do it after, like. So I don't know. It's cool, but it does make sense because some of the lyrics have more depth to them. Like it would make sense that you're drawing from your prose that you wrote previously. Yeah. Okay. And what was the last question I was going to ask you? Oh yeah. Okay. I have a question for you. I've been asking myself this question a lot lately. I don't know why. I just want to ask you, what's your favorite lyric you've ever written and why? I'm putting you through the ringer today.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess it depends. And then in the next one we're gonna play, there's a part that the lyric is I gave up before and I'll give up again, but at least I never gave up in a place like this. And when I wrote that, it was like I wrote it in my like in-laws' backyard in this town. We lived in this small town in Arizona, and it was really hard to like escape that, and like it's a big party town and not a place for like punks or weirdos. And I was like reflecting on that, and I came up with that lyric because I had moved away, and I was like, that when that hit me, that was one of the first lyrics that I wrote that like hit me in a like really like profound way. I don't know, it hit me way differently than anything else had up until that point, and so that's one that I like to sing.
I think that's a cool lyric. I think I love when there's like a triple, like a not alliteration or an entendre or anything, but just like you take a word and you do it, you change it 3 different times. I think is sick. And I also think having a punchline in music, like there's so much comedy in music, and to have like a punchline at the end of the line like that is just sick. I also love that lyric. Bars. Okay, you guys, it was an honor to have you in the studio. I have one last question just to get the rest of the band in here one more time. This is a segment I do that's called Mandatory Listening. I'm going to ask each band member your homework assignment for the viewers at home. What is one album that they have to listen to from start to finish, because we're not animals, that everyone has to go home and listen to? We'll start with drummer.
All right. Start to finish. Namdi, Please Have a Seat. Is that what it's called?
Oh my God, Namdi.
That record, start to finish, is like a big orchestration, like on a bunch of themes. And it's like a bop. It's such a great, fun album.
He's a genius.
Yeah, it's amazing. That's it. No, you got to go listen to it. No more explanations.
Yeah, no more explanation. All right.
All right, pop again. Jessie Ware, What's Your Pleasure? It only came out like a couple of years ago, but it's
timeless classic.
huge. Yeah,
contemporary.
I love that one. Yeah.
Mine's an oldie and not pop. Well, it's Fuck Off and Get Free by the Silver Mount Zion. Start to finish, a total masterpiece.
You're going to learn.
My turn?
Yeah.
I've been listening to a lot of the second electronic album. It was called Raise the Grounds, or I think something like that. That album is, I feel like it's like the pinnacle of like modern Brit pop, but also like adding like weird techno elements into it. And I feel like they're a band that I go to a lot for like inspiration. But that album, that second one, has a little kid picking a flower on it. Really beautiful. That's mine.
Awesome. Well, it's been awesome to have you guys here. And whenever you're ready to rip into your last tune, can't wait to hear it.
Okay.
Well, that wraps up our Audiotree live session with Sculpture Club. Thanks again for coming in, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much.
Of course.
This is awesome.
Yeah, dude. I want to give a big thank you to the talented people behind the scenes who make this happen. The sound engineers, the lighting and camera crew. Yeah, dude. And to you guys, our viewers, thank you so much for watching. The session you just heard is available wherever you stream music. Please support the band, follow them on social media. You could go over to their Bandcamp, pick up a vinyl, pick up some merch, and definitely make sure you see them when they roll through your city. From all of us here at the Audiotree studio, thanks for tuning in. We love ya. and see you next time.
All right, so you guys want to do it for real now?